We'll exactly start 5, okay?
Okay.
Hello, this is Venkatesh Pannam, the co-founder of Edforum. Many students and parents have a question. When there are so many career websites, what is the need for another website? Or in what way Edforum is different from other websites? Edforum is a social platform where it provides all the information related to students' careers. Not only that, through a lot of tools, a student can get the personal information. For example, they can post all the doubts in Edforum, and those questions will be answered by experts in their fields. They can read articles related to their careers, related to their courses, and lot of different articles can be found in these ed blogs. And another important tool is the Advice, where they can get lot of information related to different career options. So they can browse all the information here, and they can get a lot of information about various careers. And another important one is Ed Alerts, where we provide all the brief information about various exams, and all the notifications will be posted here on a regular basis. This website is different from most of the career websites. That is, this provides complete information, personalized information to the students based on their interests and based on their chosen career options. So this, whatever the information that they get is completely personalized. This you'll find nowhere. So, and one important point is all these services are completely free. Dear students, please register in this website, and you just fill all the details in the profile, and then you can download the app from Google Play Store to get all the personalized information related to a career. And lot of discussion will happen through webinars. So in those webinars, students can talk to the speakers, they can ask the questions, and they can clarify all the doubts. So definitely Edforum is a boon to the students and parents, where you can get answers to all your queries, and definitely this website will help you to take better career decisions. Please register and make use of all the services at Edforum. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening all. I welcome you all to this wonderful evening, to another wonderful webinar by the young man, Prila Bharadwaj. So those who have big dreams, please join us, and definitely you can interact with him, and his words will definitely inspire you. So we'll just start our webinar. Let me share my screen. Let me take 2 minutes. Bharadwaj, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay. So So let me just take a few minutes to tell you what exactly we do. So I once again welcome you all to this wonderful evening to another interesting webinar by Ph.D. So Edforum is started to educate the students and to empower them so that we can elevate them. This is our main motto. What exactly we do at Edforum, or what exactly Edforum is all about. Edforum is a social platform which provides personalized information to students, parents to make better decisions. Edforum provides career guidance to 8th to undergraduate students. And who can join Edforum? Edforum is a place for mainly 3 people. One is students, parents, and the last one is the teachers. So why students need Edforum? Because when they are in their 11th, 12th, that is a time where they need to take better decisions. They have a lot of questions in their mind. What course to choose? Which is the best engineering college? Or which is the best engineering branch? For my rank, where will I get a job? See. So they suffer with a lot of questions. So Edforum is a place where they can do all these things at one place. So I request every student who are watching live, please join Edforum, and definitely all your questions will be answered, and you get a lot of information available on the website, and you can browse through it. And other one important one is the parents. Even parents also have a lot of questions related to their kids' education. Even parents also can get a lot of information related to their kids' interests, and they can attend webinars, they get notifications about the webinars, they can interact with the experts, even they can pose the questions also in forum. So definitely Edforum is a place even for the parents. Most important, why teachers require Edforum? Because most of the students are reliant teachers. They ask a lot of questions about their career. So teachers have to guide the students, and teachers should also be updated themselves with these latest updates in the new careers. So definitely teachers also have to be part of it, and so that they can update the knowledge and they can guide the students effectively. We have developed these tools for the students and the parents and the teachers to help them. We have a section called blog, blogs, where curated content will be posted. All these articles will be, written by the experts in the domain. So now and then we post the articles which are created for a purpose. And Edforum is a very good place where students can pose the questions, or they can answer some of the questions. Even everybody can share their questions, and it's a very good place where you can get all your questions answered. Then we have these alerts, which also gives you information about all the education, the exams. So these adults will send you the information related to all the exams. And this another tool that we developed is called Edbytes, and now we call it EdNews. This EdNews is a place where students and parents can get a lot of information related to so many careers. And exactly where we stand, we started this site on September 5th, so almost 9 to 10 months back. So what exactly we achieved in these last 9 months? So we have, as of today, we have nearly 1,700 registered users, and so far we got 66,000 visitors in 9 months, and on average we are getting nearly 2,000 visitors every week. And as of today, we have 2,09,000 articles related to careers, courses, colleges, and lot of exam tips available, previous exam papers. All of these are available on the website. So this number will keep on increasing, and very soon we want to achieve 10 lakh articles of website. And so far we conducted 23 webinars, and in our YouTube channel we have 535 plus subscribers to our channel, and more than 19,000 views for the videos. It is increasing day by day. And what are upcoming webinars? This webinar we are going to conduct on next Sunday at the same time. It is on the last one in the NEET series. So far, we conducted one physics and chemistry, even one zoology also over, and we have a webinar by Santosh sir. He's a ceremonial faculty working in Chaitanya College. He's going to talk about botany, how to prepare NEET botany, and how to get the best marks in the exam. So I request everyone please join the next Sunday at the same time to listen to him. Those who are preparing for the NEET exam. And this is what I strongly believe and what we strongly believe. Don't follow the crowd. Choose a career where you will find happiness and no regret. And we always say, don't follow the follower. Because if they follow the follower, you will not reach the desired goals. So don't be afraid to choose a different path than others. Because when you feel that when you are out of the race, I mean, when you have chosen the other path, the people will laugh at you. But remember, do what you like. I always say, or else you'll be forced to like what you get. So I always encourage students, do what you like. And to design your career, please join Edforum now. It's completely free. You don't need to pay any single rupee for it. And definitely, Edforum is going to give you all the information related to all of you. Thank you so much for your time. Now, without much delay, I just introduce today's speaker, the young man, the Pila Bharadwaj, and I'm very happy to share that he's my friend son Apal Raju. He's also going to join. Bharadwaj, your father joining?
Yeah, I think he'll join.
Okay, so let me introduce this young man, Pila Bharadwaj, the today's speaker. Pila Bharadwaj, he studied his 10th class in Satyasai Vidya Vihar. And he completed his 10th class in the year 2016. And he got 10 out of 10 in CBSE. After completion of his 10th class from Satyasai Vidya Vihar, he went to Sri Chaitanya Junior College, where he studied Raman Bhavan for his IIT coaching. He completed his intermediate from 2016 to 2018, and in that year he got intermediate 94%, and then he got 2,381 open category rank, and then with that he got 2,814 rank in JEE Advanced exam. So with that rank, he got a seat in material science, BTech material science in Iit, Hyderabad. So he completed his BTech from the year 2019 to 2022 in Iit, Hyderabad. And this year, he got an admission in one of the best universities in the world. It is ranking 94th rank in the world, that is Rice University, for his Ph.D. admission. Congratulations, Bharadwaj. That's a wonderful achievement. Really, you are an inspiration to many. He completed his BTech this year. Now he is going to US for his PhD. Without wasting much time, let me take over. To Bharadwaj. Bharadwaj, now your time starts. Let me share the screen. I can see Suryaprakash sir. Thank you for joining, sir. Suryaprakash sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ask your son also to watch, sir.
Sure, sir. He is now.
Okay. Because this fellow is also from Satsai school.
Yes, sir.
Once again,
thank you for giving me an opportunity, sir.
Yes, sir. Bharadwaj, welcome to this wonderful evening. First of all, let me thank you for accepting our invitation and to inspire the students.
Thank you for the invitation.
So let's have this a completely, as I said, a webinar is complete and interactive, and people who are the webinar, live, you can post your questions also. So Bharadwaj, let's have this Q&A so that you can answer these questions. People will get a lot of information. So this question, whenever I ask the students, right, when they are coming from CBSE schools and when they are not performing well, parents believe that it is all because they didn't have any foundation classes in 10th class. So my first question is, did you attend any foundation classes before you joined +2?
I did not attend any foundation classes actually, or any sort of any tuitions as well. I used to one foundation was, you can say that I used to read a lot of books, foundation books, but I never attended any formal classes. I used to teach myself. Otherwise, I did not prefer to attend any foundation classes because it used to, I used to see my friends. It consumes a lot of time. So I prefer to have free time, and it's good to have free time, once you attend school from 8:30 to 5:30 or 8:30 to 2:30. Again, you go attend foundation classes from 5:30 to 7:30. It consumes a lot of time and it's physically and mentally tiring. So I just prefer to read books myself and teach myself. And that's what I did during my 9th and 10th.
Very good. When did you got this idea of joining IITs? When did you want to join IITs?
So I was not very much aware of IITs, the existence of IITs and NITs, but I think around my 7th standard, yes, that's when I got to know about IITs and NITs, how they're best engineering colleges in the country. I always wanted to pursue engineering, but the existence of IITs and NITs was not known to me. So my father, he's a chemistry lecturer, so he told me once about IITs. At the time, there were only just 7 IITs, and getting into IITs was a lot more tough. So that is why I started, pursuing that dream. But I never attended any formal classes, but I was always working towards that dream. That was my plan.
Achha, thank you. But what do you suggest? Because as I said, some students feel that, especially those students who come from CBSE schools like Satyasai, Vishaka Valley, all these schools, where the school is only for half a day, like, right? They'll leave the school by 2 o'clock, right? 2 to 3. And most of the parents believe that without attending classes, they cannot crack Iit-Jee. Is it correct? What is your opinion? Is it true?
Yeah, in my opinion, it's not very true. You see, like you said, schools like Vishaka Valley or Satyasai, we have a school from 9 to 2:30 at max. So what that does is it gives you a lot of free time. A, it gives you a lot of free time, and B, the academic rigor, whatever is there in CBSE schools, it's not so much pressurizing. You have, at max 4 to 5 classes in your school. So you're not mentally tired when you come home from school, that you have studied a lot. You know that you have not studied a lot, and you know that you have a lot of free time. So mentally, it takes a lot of load off your brain. So you feel that you can study a little more. So in that little time, yes, you know that you have to study a little more. So you can study whatever was taught in your school, or sometimes you can study what is not taught in your school. You can go a bit more, at a higher level. Personally, in my 9th and 10th, I used to feel that the school syllabus was too easy for me. So I used to go up a level whenever I found free time. I used to study 11th syllabus or 12th syllabus. Extend whatever is taught in my school to the 11th and 12th level. For example, optics, you study at 10th and 9th and 10th, but you can extend that. You can learn that at school, and after you come home, you can just read optics 11th and 12th syllabus as well. That is my opinion.
Very good, very good. So you meant to say that if they utilize the free time instead of going to tuition centers or coaching centers, if they do by themselves, right, self-study, right, by buying some extra books, whatever the syllabus that you required, whatever the syllabus that you require for the +2 level, if you prepare by yourself, that will be more useful. Is that you said?
Yeah, it will be more useful because attending coaching institutes again puts you on a schedule. I think at a young age, students should not be put on a very tight schedule where you go from 8:30 to 5:30 to school, and again 5:30 to 8:30 to coaching institutes or foundation classes. It barely gives any time to mentally relax. So at that stage, it is important that you mentally relax, because you don't feel any pressure, because the next few years you are going to feel a lot of pressure. So at such stages, it's important that you don't feel any pressure and relax. Do your learning in a relaxed manner.
That's fantastic point you mentioned, but the parents are thinking the reverse, right? They think that if you don't work in the 8th, 9th, and 10th class, they think that the students will fall behind. Even recently, we got the same question in the forum. One of the parent asked that, what is the right school to join my 8th class student? And so one of the my students answer the same thing, right? Don't join me any coaching center. Let them think on themselves, right? So
Yeah.
I totally agree. So because up to 10th class, if they learn the basics, what they are in the school, right? And definitely, I think those basics will help them a lot when they come to +2. Thank you so much, Van, for this wonderful answer. So again, do you think it is important that I think you answered this question, right? So in your opinion, there's no need for any coaching center, and you suggested that please focus on the basics of your textbook, and if you still find the time, and focus on some extra books that you can buy in the market and work yourself. It's not compulsory that you need to go to any foundation classes. And as one more point rightly said, that is the age where you can develop the other skills also, because once you come to 12th class or 11th class, except physics, chemistry, and maths, you don't have time for other things. But maybe when you are in 9th class or 8th class, you can develop your art, or you can develop your reading skills. You can read some books, or you learn some games, or you can learn some languages, or you can learn the music. I think that is the only age where you are free from this burden. So I think definitely I do agree with that. So dear parents who are watching this webinar, please understand, don't put your kids under pressure. It is not compulsory that maybe for some students, those who can take the pressure, okay, there are some students who wanted to work, right? Maybe they can cope up with the pressure, but not for all. Okay. So let's move on to the next question, Bharatwaj. How did you prepare for the JEE entrance exam? What was I think it was long back. I hope you remember a few things. So when you joined 12th, and I came to today that Harnath Reddy sir was your physics teacher, right? So
yes.
Yeah, he after seeing your poster, he told me that he is my student. So how was your approach? How did you prepare for JEE Mains exam? Are you confident that you're going to get through this JEE Mains and advanced exam?
Okay, so I gave JEE Mains and advance in the year 2018. So that was the year when JEE Mains was in two modes, so offline and online mode.
Yes.
And that was also the first year when JEE Advance was made as a mandatory online mode. Up to 2018, it was in offline mode. And after 2018, it was mandatory for JEE Advance to be in an online mode. So coming to the exam, these 2 years, so far I have had a basic grasp of 11th and 12th concepts from whatever I self-taught myself. And coming into 11th standard, I was not put in a as this Chaitanya colleges, they have a lot of sections. There are top sections, and then they follow bottom sections. So
yes.
I was not put in the top section because it consisted only of people who
Our so-called toppers.
It consisted only of Sri Chaitanya Techno students.
Oh.
So I was not put in that section. I was in the second section, which had the other students from other schools. So I felt for the initial few JEE tests, whatever mock tests or weekend tests were conducted in my college. So I felt that I was falling behind because I saw that the techno school students are scoring much better than me. So that is the first step where your preparation starts. As soon as you are put into 11th competitive environment, people who have already experienced it, or people who have not experienced it, coming from a Vishaka Valley school, so far you probably did not give such tests. So soon as the competition starts, there is a good probability that you will not be number one right away. So a lot of students need to understand this, that from day one, you are not going to be number one. There's a very small chance. I mean, few gifted people, probably they'll be number one from day one to day 100. But the other 99 people or 999 people, you're not going to be number one from day one. So that should get into your mind. So you need to see how far you're from number one, and you need to start planning your strategies like that. For example, I realized that there is a lot of gap between the Chaitanya Techno students and myself. So what I used to do was I used to focus on my strengths. Like for example, the three subjects: maths, physics, and chemistry. So chemistry was my strongest subject. As a child, I was very much interested in chemistry. I was good at it. Maths was probably my weakest subject, and physics was where I was moderately good at. So I used to do chemistry more and more so that I perfected my strength at a point where I can, any given weekend test, I can score 120 out of 120. That used to be my target. So yeah, I'm good at chemistry, so I'm just going to score 120, because there are other people, they might not be that good at chemistry. And then I used to focus less on my weakness in the initial periods. After that, when first year was over, I was shifted to the first section along with the Chaitanya Techno students as well. So even then, even during my second year, I was not, in the top 10 or say top 20 as well. But I realized to this point that I'm very good at chemistry. So that's my strength that is managed. Okay. And this was the point where syllabus, all the JEE syllabus was completed, 11th to 12th. Almost by the time second year starts, your syllabus will be completed. In any coaching institute, this is the typical timeline. So when your IP exams are over in May, and by June, July, August, your syllabus is done. First year and second year combined. Even some second year topics you'll learn in your first year. So this is when revision started, and I think this is the point where it was a turning point for me, because now I saw that a lot of people were struggling with revision. So topics that were taught in first year, where the lecturers don't have time to cover it again. So you have to teach yourself. You have to recollect whatever was taught in your first year. So this is where all those years you have self-taught yourself, right? In 9th, 8th, and 10th, without the help of any lecturer or teachers. So this is where it helps you. At a point when the lecturer is not able to help you because of time constraints. See, if you're already in your second year, JEE is in like 9 to 10 months. There is not enough time for the lecturer to go back and teach you first year stuff. So you'll have to teach yourself that. And this is where I've observed a lot of Sri Chaitanya Techno students have struggled. And this is where it was an advantage for me. I feel like it was an advantage for me. So that was my second strategy, that never fumble in the revision. So if you keep self-teaching yourself, you'll do the revision part. And the third part was a little bit more technical, very specific to me, because like I said, of the three subjects, as I gave more and more weekend tests, it kind of saturated that my average is 220 or 250. Like, this is my capabilities. I've reached 100% of my capabilities. There is nothing more I can do. So I just made a small technical changes. For example, I observed that there is 3 hours of time given for me for 3 subjects, but I observed I'm really good at chemistry. I'm extremely good at it. So what I used to do is I finish all the 30 questions in chemistry in 30 minutes. So it gives me 2.5 hours of time for the rest of the 2 subjects, which I'm moderately good at. Like maths, I'm very weak, and physics, I'm moderately good at it. So the rest of the 2.5 hours, I used to, equally divide it. For example, one day I used to, read the paper. If maths was easier, I know I'm weak at maths, but if maths seems easier, I'll go for maths first. Or if physics seems easier, I'll go for physics first. Or both seem tough. What I used to do is solve 5 questions from physics, then go back to maths again, solve 5 questions, and then go back to physics again. Constantly juggle between the 2 subjects. I'm good at, not the best at. But the strengths which you have, like, there is some things which you are very good at. You have to perfect those things. That is the number 1 strategy. Number 2 strategy is try to reach your 100% potential in step by step. So by the time the first weekend test, you might not be in the top 50 or even the top 100. You might be in the bottom 10. But by the time you at least 100 to 150 weekend tests are, you need to increase your position in the campus bit by bit. You need to tell yourself that you can't be number one in one day. It takes a lot of time. You need to have patience. You need to have everything planned. So that was my strategy. And then after the revision was over, coming to the exam point of view, I made another small technical gamble, I would say. So I observed that I was losing out a lot of marks because my bubbling, the OMR bubbling was not up to the mark. Even though I knew the right answer, I was losing marks. So what I did was I opted for, I started taking online mock tests, on the internet, which were not conducted by Chaitanya. So I used to buy mock tests myself and practice them. This was a time when online test was not, fundamental.
popular.
Yeah, it was a problem because people were new to it, and a lot of people did not know how online tests were. Now I think everyone is familiar for online tests after COVID and NTA. So I don't think I need to talk more about that. These were my strategies.
Yeah, thank you so much. See, there was one contradiction I want just ask you. See, you said that when you joined Chaitanya, you were in second section, and
Yes.
these techno guys are doing better. At that point of it, did you think that it is because of lack of foundation classes? Maybe I'm not competing with them. Did you get that thought?
Yes, I got that thought for an initial moment, but as revision progress, I realized that they were initially scoring good because the question papers were kind of easy, and the question papers were made in such a way that it had a lot of questions which these people already practiced in the 9th and 10th, which questions which they already saw.
Oh,
So the thing is, the final exam won't be like that. Whoever is preparing the JE paper, he won't take problems off of the Chaitanya textbook or whatever. So yeah, that is what I mean. Yes, initially you'll be scoring better, but that spoon feeding, it will cost you in the long run. That is my
that's
opinion.
wonderful point, man. That's wonderful point. I as a teacher, see, I realize I know this, right? And
Yeah,
definitely, it's not. I mean, it doesn't mean that all those who attended this foundation classes are not going to get, but definitely it is advantage for those committed students. But the point here we want to stress is it is not compulsory. Don't compare yourself with those students who are preparing, doing well in the better in the beginning. I have seen a lot of students, the same one of your maybe senior Astos from the same success school. That will also got Iit Hyderabad. You may be knowing him. Maybe he's a senior to you, right? And Astos is also from your school. He studied SN classes. So
yeah. He's
coming
actually
from,
from my batch. He's in
he is
IIT
from your
Ropar now.
batch.
Yeah, he's fourth year. We were friends. He's in IIT
Oh,
Ropar now, mechanical engineering.
or yeah, right. Okay, he's also from same, right?
Yeah,
Satyasai.
we are good friends. I know him.
Yes, I know him. That's a smart guy, right? He was my student. So that's what I'm trying to say. Coming from a school is not important. Attitude is more important. And one point you nicely said, the habit that you formed during 8th, 9th, and 10th class, that helped you a lot during the revision program. So because one thing is very important, during the revision time, the syllabus is so much the teachers cannot teach all the ABCDs again, right?
Yes,
So
it was
as a
impossible.
student, you have to plan yourself. You have to prepare on your own. That's a wonderful point you made, man. Thank you so much for it. Let's move on to the next question. This is the real education. Definitely, most of the parents and students have this feeling of these foundation classes. This is another interesting question, Bharadwaj. How many hours does student need to work independently after coaching classes are over? Or most of the students, what the parents nowadays are doing is, suppose if find some issue with the maths class or physics class, they immediately joining them in a tuition center. They think that they learn something in the tuition center, right?
Yeah.
And they hardly find the time for self-study, right? So
Yes.
what damage it will make when you keep on attending some extra classes or listening to some experts. So how students should work independently to crack the exams like Iit-Jee?
Okay, so to answer this question, first of all, during my school days, I used to have a lot of free time because my school was from 9 to 2:30. But once it was first time for me when I got into coaching. Initially, my classes were from 8:30 to 5:30 or 6 in my first year. So that itself, I felt like yeah, it was a bit stressful. Like first time I was not finding any free time to do anything. So in my first year, like I said, I realized that I was good at chemistry from day one itself. So coming back to home, I was very bad at mathematics during my first year. For the very first 10 weekend tests, I used to score below 50 or something like that. So, but during my first year, I used to come back at 6 o'clock, take a break from 6 to 7, and 7 to 10:30, I used to devote 1 hour to every subject. I used to, do whatever the lecturer used to ask us. So if, the lecturers usually ask us to, complete one worksheet or two worksheets or do the lecture sheet. So yeah, whatever they ask me, 10 questions or 20 questions, I used to do that. If I complete within the time, like if the 10 questions for the day are over by 1 hour, I just go an extra step. Solve 5 to 10 more questions. I micromanage every minute. You allot 3 hours. In 3 hours, how many questions you can do, you do. But if it's even one question, also there are days where, or even weeks. I remember a particular topic. It was probably I don't know. I think maybe coordinate geometry in mathematics. When that class started, I was scoring very bad in mathematics, and I was not able to solve whatever the lecturers were teaching me as well. So when you take the small picture, yes, you're doing very bad right now. You're scoring very less, but that does not mean that you need to start going to tuition right away. Because in the longer picture, it does not mean anything. In the longer picture, you might again pick up your pace. You can start doing well again. And in the final exam, there might be probably just 2 questions from coordinate geometry, and you can leave those 2 questions also, unless you want a perfect 360. You can leave those
Yes.
2 questions. So it doesn't matter. That is what should stop you from going to a tuition, first of all. And the second point is the physical strain you have to go through. So people who, I'm not talking about people who are in hostels, but at least for people who are going to coaching, like personally, I used to take a bus, and it was approximately 3 kilometers from my home, my college, whatever, Sri Chaitanya College. Personally, if you're again taking a bus again, going to some other coaching center, there is going to be a lot of physical strain on yourself. I'm talking about a practical issue here. This is not about studies or academics, but you need to take care of your physical strain here. This is not physically viable, practically viable. So you just have 24 hours in a day. 8 hours you have to sleep. That's an important thing. And there are important things like you have to eat. You have to allocate 3 hours to eating and everything else. So, and 6 hours you will be at your college in your coaching center. So hardly you're left with 4 hours. If you start taking 1 hour tuition for every subject, it's gone. You will be straining yourself physically, which will be very visible. You'll be straining yourself mentally, which you won't know. Okay. And the third thing, third disadvantage, maybe to going for a coaching classes, obviously there'll be some lecturer teaching you in your college in Sri Chaitanya or Narayana or Ascent or whatever. And if you go to a private tuition, say some individual is teaching you, you go for a tuition for 3 hours. I think the Vision 40, I know it teaches mathematics. Yeah. So I know a lot of people who go dedicatedly for one subject only. So people feel like they're weak in this subject, so they need to be good at all the subjects. No. Even being good at one subject will allow you to crack JEE. For example, if you score 120 out of 120 in just chemistry and 0 in the rest, or just bare qualifying marks, like advance has some qualifying marks, 10 or 5 marks, it will be enough to get you a seat. So the thing is that what this individual is teaching you in your tuition classes and what the lecturer was teaching you in your coaching, they'll all be different. I'm not saying one person is teaching you wrong, one person has the right way of teaching. I'm just saying that no two teachers have the same way of teaching. So all of these things, it's not suggested to a student where you learn a topic in one way from one lecturer and parallelly you're learning it in another way from another lecturer. It might cause that your fundamentals might not be good. It will start confusing your fundamentals. I know you're a physics lecturer, so I know this very particular problem where in optics you have sign conventions. You assign positive for one distance and you assign negative for one distance. So you might have one convention and the other lecturer might have one convention. Both are right. The person who taking the damage will be student, because he learns both the sign conventions and gets confused.
Yes.
So that is an example that I would give. Even scientists don't know what sign convention to use. Both are right, but it's not good to learn both. That is what I'm saying. So that is why I don't suggest, going to coaching classes independently after your whatever 9 to 5 coaching is. Don't go to tuitions, please.
You mean to say that it is better to study at home, right?
It is better to study at home because you have the flexibility of having an off day, days when it's not going your way, so you need a break. You don't want to learn more stuff. You just want to relax a bit, concentrate on your strengths, fall back. There are days you want to do more. Okay. So there are different days. Every day won't be same because it's not a short 3 months crash course preparation. It's a long 2 years journey. So you'll have different days. You cannot stick to a tight schedule every day. 9 to 5 you go to coaching, again 7 to 9 you're going to a tuition, again you come back home. It's not suggestible because every day is not going to be the same.
Yeah, one point you mentioned was very right, Bharadwaj. You said that, see, this is what happens. Suppose, say I'm teaching mechanics, I'm teaching say Newton's laws of motion. The students may feel difficult. They immediately they think that the physics will be like this, okay, and they want some extra help. So as you said, that one chapter, okay, may get only hardly 1 or 2 questions, okay. So don't generalize that every physics class, chapter will be like that, and don't rush to tuitions immediately. And another important point you said is, even if you are good at one subject, definitely that is advantage. It happened to my brother's son. That fellow studied in Iit Kanpur. Just like he is very good at chemistry. You know what happens? In the second paper, in advanced second paper, out of 22 questions, he attempted 19 in chemistry. All the 19 questions were correct. That changes life. That changes game. So because just he was so good at chemistry, and that fellow got very good marks, and he got IIT Kanpur computer science. Now he is working with Flipkart. Okay, so that's what every student should believe. Work on your weak areas at the same time, and focus more on the strong areas. Make sure that you are getting maximum marks in it, and definitely that is going to change the game. Thank you so much. Now, let's move on to the next question. What advice do you give to the students who are preparing for JEE? Because already JEE mains is going on, and maybe in a couple of months they are going to write advanced. What the advices you give to these segments?
Yeah, so for whatever I've talked right now, so I'll summarize while talking about this. So one is focus on your strengths, always perfect your strengths. You'll be good at one thing. You should focus these 2 years on being the best at that one thing. Then second thing is cover up your weaknesses. So you'll be bad at some things. You need to focus these 2 years on getting average at this one thing, surviving those weak things. Making sure that this won't account for your fall. That's it. In the end, if you're weak at maths, just make sure that you're at a stage where you pass math. That's it. You don't need to be the best.
Panic.
Yeah. The third thing is, like I said, you can't be number one from day one. You should always go for an upward progress, gradual progress. It will be a long journey and it will take time. You need to be patient. The second thing is probably a bit more specific to JEE Advanced, probably. That JEE Main is an academic exam. That's it, according to me. But JEE Advanced is going to be an academic test, an intellectual test, and it's a mental test. I've seen a lot of people who are far more intelligent than me, but mentally they do not have the necessary strength. JEE Advanced is known, for being one of the toughest exams, not just in India, but it's known to be one of the toughest exams in the world. So you need to be mentally prepared for that. On the exam day, if you see that the paper is tough, I've seen 90% of the students panic. I mean, I myself panic because I found the chemistry tough for the first time in my life on that day. It was a first time experience for me. Whenever in my Chaitanya test, I never found the chemistry paper tough. However tough it was for the rest of the students, it was never tough for me. But that was the first day I found it tough. But so the key was to not panic. Yeah, paper one I might have panicked a little bit, but paper two I understand that this is just playing with my brain. So I need to focus on myself mentally. You need to have the right attitude on the exam day. Okay, so this is again a very specific point, that you need to have the right attitude, for the exam duration. So that you can't develop that in one day. You'll only develop that every Saturday when you give an exam. You need to think every exam how to focus better for these 3 hours, or how to focus better for these 6 hours. I'm not getting tired, or mentally not getting tired, physically not getting tired. I find that you find small things like you're getting cold during the exam. So next exam you go wearing a sweater even if it's summer. So you need to be at your mental best during these 3 hours. So whatever small changes you can make, try using a black pen instead of a blue pen. Whatever small change, it might not be logically sound, like there is no logical reason someone would use a blue pen over a black pen, or a black pen over a blue pen. But if it is comfortable to you, you should definitely do that. So focus on these small things, which will make you focus the best for 3 hours or 6 hours. That is the advice I would give.
Yeah, very good, very good. And definitely, these are all the very key things that you mentioned. So let's move on to an interesting question. Everybody, this is the abode of what called as, it's a place where everybody wanted to land, right? So how does life at Iit Hyderabad change your thought process? After entering into IITs, so what was the difference between other institutes and IITs?
So first of all, how did life at Iit Hyderabad change my thought processes? It was different from my 11th and 12th. First of all, engineering classes are much different than your coaching classes. I found that even the self-teaching, that what I did so far, even then there was a lot of self-teaching I had to do during my IIT. So the classes here are very fast-paced, much faster and much generalized than what they do at coaching. Because in coaching, the lecturer needs to cater to every whim of the student, every necessity of the student. A physics lecturer probably they run very fast for small topics like modern physics or something like that. And when important topics come like Newton's laws of motion or mechanics, you slow down, you try to explain every problem. That won't happen during your time at IIT. The difficult topics or the basic topics or easy topics, the professor tells you the same way. So my self-teaching abilities, they improved a lot at IIT Hyderabad, and my problem-solving abilities improved a lot. So far, I was just solving problems on paper, purely theoretical problems. At IIT Hyderabad, engineering, it changed me to think practically more, think about practical aspects of a problem, think about executions of problem solving, something very practical, out of the book, out of the paper. Now we are solving real life problems. That is how it changed my thought processes. That is one broad answer I would give. I think maybe for the next questions, maybe I can answer specifically.
No, I have one more question.
Yeah,
you have a lot of engineering colleges, right? So is there any difference in the curriculum? See, I've seen a lot of IITians, okay?
Yeah.
Their thought process completely different when compared to the students coming from other engineering colleges, okay? Maybe both of them got the same degrees, same percentages, but the mindset is completely different.
Yeah.
How this evolution happens at IITs?
So first of all, to start with itself, the students who are at IITs are probably the most I would say hardworking student. Probably I would not go to the extent of saying they are the smartest students in India.
Yes.
But yes, probably they are one of the smartest minds you can find as far as science is considered. The science stream is considered. So to begin with itself, you have a much more refined peer. The main difference between a normal institute and an IIT or NIT is you have much lesser students, probably per department. You have 30 students, 50 at max. I think 50 is the highest anyone goes at, 50 or 100. Some branches have 100. 50 is an average size. So you will be at a stage where you have 50 different people who are equally as smart as you, equally as hardworking as you. In any possible way, they're at the same level as you. So when you put such people together and anything is presented to them, a problem or a competition or a class or an assignment or an exam, you have such people who perform equally well. So this pushes all the 50 people to get better and better every single day. That you won't find in an institution which has thousands of people per class and hundreds of sections. That is one evolution that takes place in the 4 years in your IIT. And the second thing is you're not one-dimensional anymore. In JEE, during your JEE, you just study 3 subjects: maths, physics, chemistry. You just study for 3 hours every day. That is how your coaching is. In IIT Hyderabad, everything changes once you go to engineering. You're at a point where you work on a multitude of problems. For example, it gives you the freedom to work on economic problems, or scientific problems, medicinal problems, a whole lot of things where your skills are required equally. So you can have a taste of everything. You can see other people do everything, different things. I personally have a friend who is into financial fintechs. I have friends who are interested in business, who are interested in doing startups. I have friends who are working in the IT sector. I have friends who have done scientific research, and I have friends preparing for UPSC exam who want to crack IAS, IPS. So by being in an academic environment which is such rigorous, where people are doing different things and trying to be best at it, so you get a taste of everything. So you start learning about everything, not just science. So that is how one evolution happens. Yeah.
Definitely, one point you mentioned. I think you're not constrained to do these certain things, right?
Yeah.
And you have a freedom. You have a freedom to do whatever you want.
Yes.
And you're exposed to one important point you rightly mentioned, Bharadwaj. So this what happens. See, when you go to some colleges that seem deemed universities, most of in the class, some people might have bought the seat, some people manage to get a seat, some people may be intelligent. Okay, there are 3 category of students we find in a institute, right?
Yeah.
And as you said, there won't be much competition among them. There won't be much learning from peer to peer. But as you said, in IITs, when these guys are coming from different parts of India and with the same attitude, with a lot of hardworking nature, definitely everybody wanted to be the best. They compete each other and they excel and they become the better version of themselves. Definitely, what you mentioned is absolutely right. The evolution happens at IIT, but any IIT is completely different from what happens in the college. Yeah, I think this is what the answer you mentioned, right?
Yeah,
So,
I can to add a few more points.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Specifically to this question, what are the advantages of studying in IITs or other institutes? One thing is you will be placed in a very academically rigorous environment, which will be very competitive, which will help you to become smarter and more efficient. So far, your journey was, where you work hard a lot. Now you are put into people who are equally hardworking as you. Everyone works hard here. Now you have to just become smarter and smarter every day, and IITs help you in doing that. The second thing is, one is the academic standards, like I said. Second thing is IITs are probably the highest funded institutes along with ISC. So they're funded lot more than NITs, probably even NITs, not just triple ITs or state level institutions. They're even funded more than NITs. Third thing is the professors at IITs are one of the smartest people I've ever met. So usually the professors at IITs are also IITians who probably did their BTechs in IITs or even foreign abroad institutes. So when you have a teacher who is actually at such a level, at an academically high level, one of the smartest people in their fields, such teachers can help students. So far, I know that I've been telling that a good teacher cannot be making every student great. But IITs are a place where you already have certain best students who have reached 90% of their potential. So IIT professors are those people who can help these brilliant minds, to reach the 10% of their potential. You won't find such smart people across all the institutes. That is the third thing. These are, the basic advantages.
Very good, very good, excellent. So definitely, it's a worth studying there. As you said, you are not restricted to one-dimensional expansion. You need to work in all aspects. And you mentioned that you come to meet different people, different attitudes. And students want to do business. Students want to work in fintech companies. Some students want to be their own boss. They want to start their companies. And when you have these students around you, automatically your ideas also going to change. Your aspirations will change. Your targets will change. Beautiful, man. Yeah, definitely. Studying IIT is a work. That's why these intermediate 2 years of education, the commitment that you have, definitely is going to pay you well. What are the job opportunities? Because you completed your BTech this year, right? So, what are the opportunities generally? Maybe you got, and what was the salary, the highest salary one of your classmates got in IITs?
Okay, so job opportunities after my BTech, straight after my BTech, your placements typically they start in your 7th semester. That means 8th semester is your final semester. And if you're a 5-year degree student, your 10th semester will be your final semester. So whatever is the final semester, one semester before your placements start. So in December 2021, the registration for placement started. I did not register for placements because I wanted to pursue higher studies. But yeah, my friends, all of my friends, almost 99% of my friends, they registered for placements. And what are the job opportunities? So typically, the number one opportunities that everyone gets at an IIT is IT sector. 90% of the jobs are in IT sector. And IT sector, it has two ways of hiring you. One, in your third year itself, you apply for an internship. You have the same procedure as your placements for your internships. And if you get an internship straight away in your third year, you can get a pre-placement offer in your third year, and you get placed in your third year itself. So it's just like placement, it happens in your third year, the same procedure. People who don't get pre-placement or PPOs, they register for placements again, they sit for placement exams. They typically, our exams went from semester started in August. So yeah, September to December, the procedure goes on. You have written exam, you have interviews. December, typically companies shortlist you based on your written test scores, your CVs, resumes, and your experiences, your CGPAs, etc. They have a lot of parameters filtering. So after the interviews, you get placed by Christmas. Christmas is the a typical deadline day I find. So I think the last one of my friends was placed, I don't know, a little after Christmas, maybe just that. So typically, these IT sectors, they're basically open for all branches. They don't have anything to do with what you studied in your BTech so far in 4 years. They look at your coding skills and your mental aptitude, how good you're at solving aptitude problems, simple aptitude. And they offer good packages. So the highest any of my friend or batchmate got was probably 62 lakhs. He was placed in Apple, and that is not a domestic offer. Probably the highest domestic offer was offered by Microsoft. It was 45. And the average or median package, I should say. So the median package is around 15 to 18 lakhs. So everyone, and I know every single one of my friends, they got at least 12 to 18 lakhs. The second kind of job opportunities are your core branches, which are open only for your branch. Like, for example, Tata Steels for my branch, I studied material science and metallurgical engineering. Or for mechanical, probably Larsen and Topo. Or for civil, you have a couple of construction companies coming. These companies typically, they want to see what kind of projects you've done in your BTech, what kind of grades you have in your courses, and how your problem solving capacities for that specific engineering field. Like they might ask you a couple of construction problems, to be specific. These companies typically offer, lesser amount of packages than the IT companies. They offer around 8 to 10 lakhs probably. So historically, there are not a lot of people inclined towards the core sector. And the third kind of people who did not sit for placement, they opted either going for an MTech or an MS Masters or MBA or higher level studies.
So beautiful
these
explanation.
are the
I
kind
have
of
few
job
questions.
opportunities.
Yeah, I have few questions. Because there are different IITs, will the process, I mean, the placements, percentage of placement, will it be same in IITs or will it change from IIT to IIT? That means IIT
I
Mumbai
think
has more placement chances than IIT Hyderabad. Is it like that?
I mean, if you're considering solely the number of registered people, the percentage of placements happening from registered people, whoever sit for placements, I think it will be more or less the same in every IIT, 90% or 85%. Yeah, it will be more or less same, because the same set of companies go from campus to campus. I mean, some very few companies like probably Google or just Google or Apple, they might just stick to going for only the 7 old IITs. But other than that, the other companies like Flipkart, Amazon, or everything else, they go to all the IITs. They take the same quantity of people, like 20 or 25. The intake is same, the tests are same, the exams are same. So, and so they take the same number of people. So the percentage remains the same. But going to the registered number, sheer registered number, like probably if you go to IIT Bombay, you might see that there is a higher percentage of people opting for higher studies. Maybe 50% go for placement, 50% go for higher studies. Or this happens in older IITs because people tend to get better and better university offers or better offers at higher studies for graduate opportunities, so they opt for higher studies. This might highly vary, like this number, like how many percentage of students are willing to sit for placement, it varies highly randomly from IIT to IIT. But how many number of people are getting offers in the number of people who have sat for placement, it's more or less the same.
And Bharadwaj, will your GPA affect your job prospects? Will they consider your GPA?
So personally, what I've seen is I know a lot of friends with a range of GPAs. I have one friend who has a 7.0 GPA. I have one friend who has 6.5. I even have friends who have 9.8 or perfect 10.0 CGPA. So what I observed is generally these companies, they have a eligibility requirements, like they have a cutoff CGPA where 8.5 or 7.5 or 6.5. So if you are below this cutoff CGPA, they won't let you register for the exam. Other than that, it does not have any effect on your job opportunities. For example, let us say a company has a 7.5 CGPA cutoff, and there is one guy with 7.5 CGP exactly, and there is one guy with 10.0 CGP. Both of them are eligible, and in no way is the 10.0 guy having an advantage over the 7.5 guy. The playing field is even for both of them, really. As long as you're above the cutoff CGP, everything is fine.
And for example, you see, maybe during your JEE means advanced exam, a student, because of so many reasons, he missed the rank and he ended up in Hyderabad instead of IIT Mumbai. But this guy in Hyderabad is smarter than IIT Mumbai, right? And will the companies, when they hire them, right, do they consider the skill sets, or they look at the brand also?
See, only up to coming to the IIT for campus placement is up to the company's mindset of brand value. Like if the company thinks that IIT Bombay has more brand value, I'll just go for IIT Bombay. I won't go for IIT Hyderabad. Then it's out of your hands. You can't do anything. But once the company visits your campus, then there is no personal bias in the mindset of companies that IIT Hyderabad people are less smarter. Because like I told you, usually the exams happen at the same time on a common platform for all the IITs, be it Bombay, Kanpur, Roorkee, Hyderabad, Madras, Guwahati, whatever. So there is no personal bias, except there might be personal bias depending, like if the hiring manager is from an IIT, particular IIT, he might incline a little bit towards going to his own IIT. But other than that, there is no personal bias.
But wherever you are, it all depends on how you perform the interviews matters.
Yeah.
Right. Very good. Let's move on to the next question quickly. So your interesting question. So when did you decide to go to US for visa? Did you fix that you want to go to US, or you had another chance? I mean, options also.
I did not fix. So yeah, continuing from the previous question. So during my second year or third year, while preparing for my internships, I did not find IIT internships very interesting to me, or I did not feel that I am doing well in this particular field. So I found research internship as a good career opportunity I wanted to go that summer and do research in some university, because so far I did a couple of research projects in my second year. So I never decided that I want to go to US only. So as the time progressed, so third year again, I sat along with all my friends for internship exams as well, for the common internship process. So whatever internships there is, your college has a common platform, like a career service platform where everyone registers and everyone gives exams for the internships. So I registered for a lot of research internships, and so I got some opportunities abroad, like universities in other countries. So then I started researching more about research opportunities in other countries, starting from Canada, US, Europe, England, specifically UK or Germany or Switzerland, or then even Japan and Singapore. So then I realized that research has a good career potential, first of all, and then I more or less I realized that so far I've studied at probably the best research engineering institutes in the country, and it also made me realize that so far I studied at the best, but I can take it up a notch. This is not the top level, this is not the highest level. I have to reach for the highest level, and in order to do that, I have to go abroad. That's what I realized. So I saw a lot of opportunities in US, because mostly US, it's easier for have a lot of Indians going in this field, and it has more number of career opportunities. US is a country where you have high number of career opportunities after your graduation or whatever, compared to probably Germany or Switzerland or Japan or Singapore. And US is also home to probably they have the highest percentage of institutes. If you look at the top 100 institutes in the world, probably 50 will be from USA easily. So that is where I realized US is a good option. I did not fix myself that I'll definitely go to US, but it seemed like the number one option for me.
So your interest matched.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bharadwaj, I have one question before you're talking about internships.
Yeah.
In IITs, will the college show you internship programs, or you have to search for yourself?
So there is a collective student body. So you have a placement cell, something called a placement cell, in which you have 10 to 20 students who every year starting from July, they call up companies, they contact HRs, they look up every possible work related opportunity. They contact everyone and they bring them to our campus, and they look after the platform and everything. So it's like a platform, student managed platform, so which the students look after. As of now, the campus management or the official management itself does nothing to help you with your internships or placements. It's all managed by the students itself. It's a collective student initiative effort.
So those guys who are in final year, they'll organize all these things.
Yeah, the internship coordinators are usually from third year BTechs. The placement coordinators are from fourth year BTech. So they'll be responsible to whatever company is coming to your campus. They are responsible to contact and keep in touch and invite.
So nowhere it is connected to Hyderabad IIT.
Yeah, no. Officially,
It's all
it's
company.
yeah. I mean, typically all the placement coordinators, they have one professor head, which they usually contact, because professors have a lot of contacts and connections in the industry. But it's all involvement by the students itself. Yes, at max your professors are there to help you, but 90% of things are managed by the students itself. It's not the college management.
And will there be any special training for you by the IIT Hyderabad, or you need to manage yourself?
Yeah, no, there is no special training. Like I said, this is a place where everyone teaches yourself. So
Yeah, because in most of the private colleges in Vizag, they have these placement officers, placement training, CRT training. There's a lot of things are involved here. So in IIT, it's nothing like that, right?
Yeah, nothing like that. At max, you'll probably get some few tips from your seniors or super seniors or batchmates. But other than that, I don't see anybody coming and teaching. That's it. Everyone is learning for themselves.
So you need to manage again.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is another interesting question, man. Why did you choose research over lucrative software jobs?
Yeah, so while I was in my third year, I realized that I saw a lot of my seniors who were my friends. I saw them going for research opportunities. So I used to ask them a lot of queries, like why they are not going for software jobs, why they're choosing research. So one thing I understood that I was not cut out for a software job. Maybe it seemed like a lot of stressful environment or something which I'm not good at or not best at. So then I realized that research opportunities, especially abroad, they have good financial stability. They pay well. It's a good lifestyle and everything. So that's one point. And second point is, going to another institute which is probably better than your IIT, it builds your academic profile again. So it improves your thinking again. So I saw this as a career growth. So I just did not want to stop at my BTech, and probably go into a job. It will probably limit my thinking capabilities. I saw this as an opportunity to improve my thinking capabilities. So that's why I chose this research field. And the third thing is, I saw that the financial stability is good. I mean, these research positions pay you equally as well as your software jobs or IT jobs in India. So yeah, the money is same more or less. So I just chose this pathway.
Yeah, actually, definitely, this is more satisfying job. Research is definitely more satisfying, and you don't have this problem of layoffs, right? So definitely, as you said, it's more of secure job.
Yeah. Yes.
What is the area of research and what motivated you to choose it? What exactly you are going to?
Okay, so my area of research is plasmonics and nanophotonics. It's a field, it's a subfield of optics where you study the interaction of light, the wave nature of light with various lenses, The only thing is that these lenses are usually metals and they're very small. They're at the nano level or quantum level, where they're probably 1/1000th the width of your hair, or even smaller than that. So we want to study how these metals in very small sizes, they interact with light, and how you can manipulate this interaction for engineering applications like making sensors or diagnostic tools or making antennas or signal processors. So that is what my research is about. It's about studying metals, and to like for better understanding of 11th and 12th students, I do a lot of electromagnetism and Maxwell's equations. So that is what my research is about in basic terms. Yeah.
And how did you choose it? And somebody did you? I mean, is there anyone who helped you to choose this field, or how did you get this idea?
So again, same. One of my engineering classes, I took semiconductors class in my third semester. So I realized that I was good in the electronics field. I was very good in the electronics field, semiconductors and semiconductor physics or solid state physics, and other topics like that. So I approached my professor who was teaching semiconductors. I read about his research and I asked him for a research project. So he introduced me to this field of photonics, light matter interaction. And so I did a lot of homework about this. Was not which was something taught to me in my academic curriculum. So I had to do a lot of homework, take classes from other departments like physics department or electrical department, and do a lot of homework. So in that way, doing this homework, I got more and more interested, and it was not something that I fixed upon initially. So this was my second year. I did research. I did do research in other fields like thermodynamics, computational thermodynamics, and I did research in microelectronics, electron microscopy. So I explored various fields, and in the end, I converged on this because of a lot of reasons. One, I realized that this was what I was probably the best at in whatever fields I've explored. I realized that this is something that I'm good at, where I can perform exceptionally good without putting in a lot of effort. So it's something that comes to you naturally. So that was one reason, and the second reason was it seemed like a very advancing research field, relatively new field, 10 to 20 years old, which has a lot of potential in the future. So it seemed like a stable career opportunity for me. And the third reason was the professors who worked with me in this field were very friendly towards me. They were wonderful mentors to me. So I have to give them a lot of credit for that. These were the three reasons why I chose this field particularly.
So, what are the future challenges your research is going to solve?
To give an example, so I have this very interesting example that goes on in cancer research. It's not something I do, but it's something other scientists are doing in my field. So when you have cancer diagnostics, like for example, take lung cancer or stomach cancer, usually how the medical field diagnoses it is if the doctor thinks that you have cancer in a particular part, so you cut off the particular organ cells, tissue from the particular organ. Maybe they take out a piece of your lung, they take out a piece of your stomach, they put it under the microscope, they check for tumors or cancer related cells to confirm that you have cancer. This is what something is. This is something called a biopsy.
Yeah, biopsy. Yes.
So it's an extremely invasive method. Like it's kind of painful and invasive and unnecessary. Unless you're very sure, it's unnecessary. It's absolutely unnecessary. Cutting up all your organs. So what we are trying to do is in plasmonics, we're trying to make special functionalized nanoparticles which specifically attach to cancer related cells or cancer related tumors. Since they're very small, you can just put it in someone's bloodstream, then they attach to particular organs, and then using the light and the lens interaction that I talked about, you can just detect tumors just by using light, your visible light or laser light. So this is a future application that people are pursuing in this field. To give an example, there are many other examples like similar applications you can see in the electronics field for signal processing, signal enhancement, and other applications as well. Working for displays of electronics as well. A lot of things where light is used.
Wow, fantastic, man. It was really interesting. Yeah, as you said, is they do a lot of diagnosis, and at the end of the day, they say nothing is there, right?
Yeah.
But it costs you more, okay? And
Yeah.
you'll be in a lot of trauma, right? This biopsy take a lot of time, unnecessarily cutting up the part. So definitely, I wish you best that you also will be a part of that wonderful journey. And definitely, this is going to definitely. That's what I said during the pandemic time. Nothing saved the people, only science. We always say the God, all the people, the priests are the preachers, right? Nothing else saved us, only the science have changed us. Definitely, one should learn science, and without these, what to call it as, vaccination, nothing could save us. So definitely, science is the future. Yeah, I wish you wonderful care in that. Let's move on to the next question. So, did you get admission in any other universities other than the Rice University that you are going to join?
So yes, I got one. So I got my offer to Rice University for PhD in around. I started sending out applications in December or January till February, and in April I received this. April 20th, I received an offer to Rice University, and then late in May or May ending or early June, I received another offer from Nanyang Technological University, NTU Singapore, but it was not in the field I was interested in. So, and also I've already accepted my offer to Rice, so I had to decline the offer to NTU. Yeah, two offers I received, and I
Very
chose
good,
to
very good.
go to
Okay.
Rice.
So, other than Rice, you got other also from Singapore.
Yeah.
Very good. So, how did you get into Rice University? What was the process of, suppose if somebody is in BTech final year, right? And can students from Vizag studying Vizag, right? Is there any chance for them to join such universities? Is it only for IITians?
Yeah, no, definitely. Everyone has an equal chance.
So what was the process? Suppose if somebody wanted to join these such universities, what is the process of joining there?
So typically, you either apply for a master's admission or you either apply for a PhD admission in this university. So how they typically happen is in December, you start sending out your application. There are admission portals for all these colleges where you fill out your personal details, your education background, your qualifications, your CGPA, the courses you have done, the grades in your courses. And so far, whatever research projects you have done. And the process continues, step by step throughout December to January. It's a step-by-step process. Later they ask you for your test scores. You give multiple tests like GRE. It's a revised examination for.
So is it subject GRE? Subject GRE you're talking about?
No, it's
general GRE.
Yeah, general GRE typically is for engineers.
Okay.
So general GRE, TOEFL, the test scores, and then later you have the universities ask for recommendation letters from your professors or past employees. If you're worked in industry, past employees can send out your recommendation. After all this process is done, the university sits down. There is an admission committee. They shortlist candidates. If necessary, they invite for interviews. You can talk with the professors over there, and based on after all this process, typically it takes 2 to 3 months. Then selected candidates just get their offer letter. So the way you apply is you prepare your academic profile, you make a good CV, good resume, then you write this test, GRE and TOEFL well in advance before the admission process starts, so that if you score less, you have a second attempt at this test. So, and then you start writing statements of purposes, essays about yourself, SOPs, and etc. etc. By November, you probably finish all this process. in your 7th semester, and December you can start sending out applications. You shortlist, typically once this material is ready, the common material like your CV, your letters, your SOPs, then you can customize them based on what university you want to send it to. You can make small changes and then send it to a university.
But you have tried GRE and SAT, I mean, so SAT you don't require.
Yeah, SAT is only if you are applying to an undergraduate level.
Okay, so you have tried GRE and TOEFL, they are compulsory, right?
Yeah.
In addition to that, did you write any exam related to your subject?
In addition to that, no, I did not write any exams.
But did you face an interview?
Yes, I was called for an interview from Rice University around Feb ending or early March, I think. Yeah, early March I was called for an interview where they asked me about my research projects, my general background in research, how much research experience I have, what I've been doing lately in IIT Hyderabad, etc. That's it.
So, what are the main thing they consider before they give admission?
Well,
is it your subject?
One main thing they consider is that if you're applying for a PhD, they see that how much research experience you have from your bachelor's itself, how many research projects you have done, how deeply do you understand the field you're applying to, how well you have planned out your academic career based on your SOP. Other than that, yes, there is a little personal bias. I wouldn't say bias, but yeah, a little weightage is given to where your academic institution is from, undergrad level. So because it gives the professors an idea like what kind of academic environment he studied in. So
Yes.
yeah.
So definitely your IIT matters there.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it is biased, but it does give you an edge. That's it.
Definitely, man, it is advantage. Right? It's not a bias, actually, it's advantage.
Yeah,
because
it's an advantage.
Yes,
we
people
have
can
studied in
assess
a
you.
much harder academic environment as compared to other people. Yes, definitely an advantage.
What about the scholarship, everything? How much it costs to stay there? How long you're going to stay in the university?
Yeah, so the main thing that is, which is why I applied for a PhD is, PhDs are generally very well funded. So PhDs, if you go from your master's level, they usually last for 3 years. But like me, if you are going directly from BTech to a PhD, usually they last for 5 years. And for the 5 years, the institution covers your tuition fee. So you don't have to pay any fees for studying there. And they also take care of your expenses like rent, food, or whatever your personal expenses by giving you a good stipend, which is very healthy.
So how much you are going to get in this university per month?
My university offered me an annual stipend of $35,000 in US dollars. So
for your expenditures.
Yeah, for my personal expenditures only.
Oh.
So at the end of the day, it's almost as good as a salary which you can earn by working in any software companies here in India. So it's good money.
So you are going to stay at the university for 5 years, right?
Yeah, 5 years. For next 5 years.
So for the 5 years, you will be doing research, and every month you are going to pay $3,000 per month almost.
Yeah.
So after 5 years of your PhD, once you complete there, so what will be your career opportunities there? Will you be as a professor, or will you go to some university? How will be your life there after that?
One thing, the career opportunities are that you can continue doing your research academically. That means work in universities again as a postdoctoral researcher, or as an assistant professor, or as a guest visiting lecturer. So this is one academic opportunities. Other than that, you have industries which are looking for highly learned scholars, at high level positions, such as IBM always looks for research scientists. You have Samsung looking for research scientist positions. You have Nvidia, or all these tech companies, the big tech companies or big engineering companies. They're looking for very small quantity of highly learned people. So when they're picking up these BTech grads for a software job, they usually take BTechs 30-35 people for all for the same salary. But when it comes to a research position, because since you'll be heading a division, an entire division yourself, you'll be doing independent research for the company, which involves a lot of funding. So they just take one person. So the competition is much lesser compared to your BTech degree, where you have 300 people for the same position. Here the competition is lesser because there are only a handful of people who have the same level of expertise in a specific field. For example, networking, computer networking, or computer architecture. You might hardly find 2 to 3 people who have done their PhD here, and the companies, they always require such people. So you can always go to corporate or industry opportunities, or you can continue in academics. Because as your experience goes, these academic opportunities start paying more and more. Typically, PhD scholars are paid 30,000, 35,000. Postdocs, they get paid 60 to $70,000. And once you become a professor, you start earning something like $250,000 or $300,000.
That's very good. So you have a lot of women job guarantee. Right.
Yeah.
Now I have a question, Bhardwaj. See, what is the advantage of going to PhD with BTech or after doing your masters?
So the main advantage is if you're going directly after BTech, you can probably get your PhD at a much faster level, because you have spent a lot of your BTech career doing research. So it lays a good foundation once you start your PhD. So you're faster at things than people who have not done much research in BTech and opt for masters. And people who are doing their masters, if you're doing your MTech in India, it is a long process. Again, it does not expose you to cutting edge research. That is one point. If you're doing masters in abroad, yes, it does expose you to some level of cutting edge research, very modern day research, very advanced research. But the thing is, it involves a lot of money that you might require, and unless you do a job after your BTech, or unless you're very rich, you don't have such kind of financial capital to start doing your masters in abroad immediately. So that is one advantage. If you go directly from BTech to PhD, you don't spend a lot of money, and you start learning right away.
Yeah, definitely. And one more question. See, the student, suppose you said that suppose a student is studying in BTech in second year or third year. Okay. Suppose if they want to do masters, their idea should be different. If they want to go for PhD, their idea should be different, right? You said they require some research work, right?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. What type of research they should do before they apply for PhD?
So more or less, the path is same. So you start working, you choose a field, and you start working on it. So if you're interested in masters, if you've not done deep level of research, you've done probably a research project for 1 month or 2 months, and you're not sure which field you want to go in. You haven't explored the field that much. Then such kind of people are advised to go for masters. Yes. But if you have done a research project which you understand from the top to bottom, in which you have designed the experiments yourself, in which you have used the equipments yourself, in which you have written the papers yourself, in which you have discussed everything with the professors or the supervisor, put in work for 6 months to 12 months or even 18 months, you have a solid 1.5 experience in the same field. Such people are advised to go for PhD. If you have more experience already, you have good foundation, then that is enough for a PhD.
When this happens, Bhardwaj, will it happen second year, third year, fourth year? When you do all these things?
It depends on, typically, see, you need 1.5 year of experience in research work in your BTech itself. So what is the earliest you can start? First year, right away you can start from your first year. But I feel that students are not yet ready in their first year itself. So second year is typically when you start. If you start from second year, by your fourth year, first semester, you have a solid 1.5 year of research experience.
No, when you are in second year, how did you decide what subject I want to do in PhD? Will you get an idea about that by the time?
By second year, I did not have any idea. All I had a little idea is, I want to do a job, or I want to pursue a research career. maybe a research job at my BTech level or master's or PhD. I just want to go in this field. So I explored other research fields, worked with 5 to 6 professors, 2 to 3 professors. I changed fields in this short span of time. Taking a break, working 2 months on a different project myself. And then I realized that this is the field I'm most interested in. This is good. This is interesting. Then I started applying to that field during my PhD admission.
Thank you so much, man. You're so patient enough to answer every question. Let's move on to very few questions. How did you get admission there? So I think you answered this question, right?
Yeah.
So
far I've
you
answered.
applied for, just.
To summarize, you just send your CV, your exam details, and everything. It's a pretty much straightforward process. And
it is as simple as applying for masters, except that other. Papers, right?
Other than that, there is nothing more. Only that your profile should be a little bit better if you're applying to PhD. That's it.
So, what are your future goals?
So my future goals would be like for the next 5 years, I'll be working a lot on my research topic. So till to 2027, I think everything is pretty. I don't have much option to do anything. I'll be working on my PhD till 2027. After that, probably I want to maybe continue my research. Work in some corporate industry as a research scientist, or maybe continue academic research as a postdoc researcher, or try looking for opportunities as a professor. But I haven't decided anything much yet. So
you don't want to get into teaching?
Goals for next 5 years are pretty much. I haven't given much of a thought to that. So I just thought for the next 5 years, my goals are set. I need to get better at research. I need to explore more. I need to study more. That's it. After 5 years, maybe I'll be thinking again.
Some people say that in US universities,
So
it's a very good career, right? Working as a teacher is a very good career. As a professor, university professor, it's a very lucrative job in US. Very good.
Yeah.
What advice you give to the students who want to enter business?
One advice I would like to give is you need a lot more patience in doing research compared to a regular 9 to 5 job. Doing research is not something like a job where you get a certain amount of work done every day. So you sit from 9 to 5, you get to your work done. It's certain amount of work done. So in research there are days you work for 10 to 12 hours and you have zero progress. So you need to be ready for such days. You need to be very patient, and you need to have a mentality where you're able to ask questions yourself, answer them yourself.
Bharadwaj, are you there? So, Sarath, you are so patient enough to be there from the beginning, man. What are your takeaways today, Sarath?
So, I literally got all of my answers regarding IITs and all. First thing is that, and another thing is that I see this research and all is really interesting for me.
Okay. So, how was the webinar so far, man? How was the inputs given by him?
First thing is that it's very interesting to listen to someone who's not getting the words, but Yeah.
So you can understand, see how clarity he has, right, about his life. So especially the way he molded himself from a school where there was no foundation was given, right? And these are where I really like this, what called as points given by him. So never lose hope just by looking at your marks in the one exam or one chapter. So you need to be what called as persistent enough to look at all the things and definitely. So meanwhile, we just will have just 2 more minutes. If we can join, we'll see. Maybe I think he has some network issues. So I just want to share a new feature that we added recently. Yep. Bharadwaj.
Yeah, I lost connection from my PC.
Yeah. So we have actually this was the last question. Let's finish it. Okay. Thank you for joining.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll reshare it. Okay. Thank you, Bharadwaj. It's very, very informative and I'm really loving it.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
So you're talking about this, Bharadwaj.
Yeah, I was just finishing. So, like I said, you need what advice I'd give is A, you need a lot of patience. B, you need to be good at communicating your work to other researchers. And C, at the same time, you need to be good at working independently, where you think of problems yourself, questions yourself. You need to ask yourself, and you need to solve them yourself and answer yourself. So, independently working is an important aspect.
Yes, very good, very good. Bharadwaj. That's an amazing thing. Before this, I mean, Sarath, do you have anything to ask?
All very
Sarath, can you bit loud? Can you make it loud?
no, sir, no question.
Okay. Bharadwaj, before we wind up, I'll share the new feature that we introduced recently at Edforum. I need your what as feedback on that. And just 2 minutes will wind up.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So we have this as I said in the beginning. We have nearly 210,000 articles related to all education, especially engineering, medicine, everything. What we have introduced, Bharadwaj, recently, we have filters. The moment a student wanted to look at the career as a science, so obviously we have MPs and IPs, the most two powerful branches of science in intermediate level, and we have introduced these filters, and where we have these academics, engineering, pilot, defense. So recently we introduced these filters like defense. Some students are wanted to go for NDA exam or CDS. In this we have Army, Navy, Air Force, NDA and CDS. So the moment you want to explore more about Army, you just click this Army and you see all the content related to only Army. For example, how to enter into Indian Army, what are the job opportunities. So these filters will make save a lot of time for them, especially for example, the merchant navy, many students are interested in. So if you look at the content, so what is merchant navy? So how to join merchant navy? How to join merchant navy after 12th class, after graduation? So this information is so structured so that they are well organized. The students, they can just come and browse and they can, explore about the careers they wanted to learn. And especially even for MP students, majority of them are interested in engineering. So we kept, it's a very Herculean task for us to keep all the branches of engineering at one place. Why? Because see, as you said, you are doing a research in material science, and you said one of the best part of the research you talked about, right? How it is going to help the patients, to the doctors to diagnose the cancer cells. So many students think that engineering is all about computer science, right? They don't know the knowledge in other fields. So as a teacher, I know that I should educate them. We at Edforum team have developed these filters where we kept every branch of engineering in order, so that suppose somebody wanted to know more about aeronautical, they can come here. Aerospace, aircraftment, agriculture, applied. So all the 120 branches of engineering available in this website in order. This you nowhere find. Even Google also cannot give you this type of results. So Bharadwaj, tell me, my question is, I always say students, they should have this ability to do research about the career. See, in the beginning, I told you, don't follow the follower, right? You are not follower the follower. Even though some of my friends are sitting for jobs, you didn't go for jobs, right? Maybe your father might have forced you to go for a job, or your parents may ask you to go for a job. But you know what exactly you want in life. Others, tell me how this website is going to help them to decide their future.
So I think it's a very good initiative that you have taken, to bring very different fields all into the same platform, like defense, like you mentioned, defense, NDA, probably maybe UPSC or everything at the same time. It's a good initiative that you've taken. So I think it helps to students at any level, students as early as 8th, 9th and 10th standard who are starting their career early, who started thinking about their career very early. It helps them in a good way. And elder students much later part of their academic, like BTech students, or people who are who currently completed their BTech and they're unemployed. I think this is a very good platform to search, not just for jobs, but career opportunities as a whole. Maybe graduate opportunities, maybe academic opportunities, and at the same time job opportunities. So the most helpful part of this initiative is that it can help any student at any part of their career. It might be as early as 8th, 9th and 10th, or it might be as late as after BTech. It's a very good initiative. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. So we that's what we are bringing so many in the near future. We are going to have what called as even a social page for every student, where they can connect with other when fellow students are, they may connect with the teachers. So that is going to come in another 3 months. So we are completely changing the website, and definitely even these webinars. So much valuable information shared. Thank you so much, Bharadwaj, for your time. And I should have my best friend, Apal Raju, for giving me this opportunity to have you on this show. Thank you so much, man. You answered all the questions so well. And thanks for your time, and thanks for joining. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
sure. Thank you. Yeah, this is all for now from this webinar. It's a wonderful webinar. I really appreciate Bharadwaj for his time, and he answered all the questions that we asked him. And definitely his inputs will definitely help the budding students to design their career.